the enormous, the eventful, and the excellent. Each of these three games have something they do better than the other two. By understanding what those differences are, you should be able to decide which game best fits your desires. All of these games still claim to be in beta. Several months ago, I made a video theorizing that they were all made by Kafir. Since then, Kafir has claimed ownership of Grimsoul, but we're still not sure about Jurassic Survival. Regardless, I make it clear in those videos that they are all working together. However, the development teams of these three games tend to focus on different things as they develop their games. The first game is, of course, Last Day on Earth. Last Day on Earth was released in May of 2017. It is by far the most developed of the three games, including character customization, substantial holiday themes and events, pets, higher tier item crafting, an incredible skill acquiring system, and they have even released their first iteration of multiplayer. It seems to have the biggest staff team and will probably always be the testing game for the other two, making it the most advanced, but also making it to where it has the most bugs. Last Day on Earth has a lot of problems with losing people's progress, whereas the other two games have not had problems with that so far. The game tends to be the most laggy of the three games, which is also because it's the most advanced of the three. But those are, of course, unintended complications with the game. The most criticized decision made by the Last Day on Earth development team is requiring an exponentially increased amount of grinding to get higher tier resources, while creating in-app purchases as an easy alternative to the grind. If you're familiar with these games, the current ultimate goal of these survival games is to build a magnificent base to protect your hordes of wealth. Tier 1 and Tier 2 walls are easily attainable, but Tier 3 and 4 walls require an extreme grind in order to attain. This by itself is not that big of a deal, but in Update 1.7.2, Kafir introduced the ability to buy level 3 and 4 walls for just a few cents per hour of grinding, essentially making the game pay to play at the higher tiers. This has caused a pretty toxic environment for the game's community, to where it's hard for many players to even appreciate the good things that are produced by this development team. The last 4 or 5 updates in Last Day on Earth have all been positive changes, so I have hope for them to regain their reputation, but the main changes asked for by the community have still not been made. The second game was Jurassic Survival, which was released in November of 2017. Jurassic Survival has the softest scaling system for walls of the three games, and is therefore easiest to get a max base. Jurassic Survival has the biggest variety of lower tier resources, which adds more diversity to the game, but it also adds complexity to building some of the most simple items, which can be frustrating at times. Jurassic Survival has had the best long-term non-base building game goals integrated into the game with their monument system, but it was recently overshadowed by Last Day on Earth's new skill acquiring system. Jurassic Survival has had the best implementation of mini bosses into the game, but recently Grimsoul Survival has overshadowed them in that area as well. Jurassic Survival has come up with a unique dealer that includes a leveling up system, which is pretty cool, but Jurassic Survival's main claim to fame is that they have the best single player events. Their events are incredibly diverse, with a great mix of strategy, skill, and movement based challenges. They are also the best at making linear quest lines, but their reputation got sullied because they kept making quest bait, in which the quest wouldn't actually unlock what it implied it would. Their inability to follow through on these quests has made many players lose interest in the game, and right now the game feels dead, but I'm sure that a lot of players will return to the game when Gate 3 is actually unlocked. Another critique of Jurassic Survival has been that they were the least original of the three, but I think they've mostly grown out of this reputation as they've continued to focus on developing unique things to their game. The last of the three games is Grimsoul Dark Fantasy Survival, which was released in February of this year. Grimsoul presented the concept in a completely new fashion with its medieval theme and its focus on being the most challenging of the three games. The first thing that will stand out when playing this game is the developers' incredible attention to detail. They don't have as much in the game yet in comparison to the other two, but everything that Grimsoul does have has been implemented better. They have the most balanced wall scaling system, making it to where attaining a max base is possible for someone who's free to play, but it's not for the faint of heart. The prices in the shop are reasonable for a paying customer, but the most prized items in the game aren't even offered in the shop, forcing even the paying customer to face the challenges of the game. They have fixed every data saving exploit that are commonly used in Last Last Day on Earth, which forces players to challenge themselves, and they have thoroughly revised zones, resources, weapons, and enemies, making almost every aspect of the game diverse and balanced. They have also gone to war with YouTubers that promote mods and hacks for their game, causing some of them to lose monetization and all of them to stop covering Grimsoul Survival. They recently announced that the first dungeon is going to be released soon, and they said that their priority has been to create an experience that is diverse each time you play, which they're going to do by making each dungeon randomly generated. They've been taking their time to make sure the final product comes out balanced. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Their attention to detail is phenomenal, and I'm really excited to see how this dungeon plays out. Lastly, Grimsoul has put a lot of work into developing a comprehensive storyline. The storyline is revealed as you play the game, and it's really well done. If you want to know just how awesome the storyline is, you should check out this video where my wife and I discuss the storyline presented by the Scarlet Angels, and how that story affects the other 9 storylines. By the end of watching that video, I have a feeling you're going to be addicted to the story. They have also tied in all of their quests into the storyline, which is another thing that's just a nice touch. It does not surprise me at all that Grimsoul Survival has already caught up in size to Jurassic Survival. Honestly, other than being the least developed of the 3 games, I have no critiques of this game right now, but I have heard others critique it for being too gloomy and depressing or being unnecessarily difficult. Personally, I like the difficulty level, but as I said, this game is not for the faint of heart. So those are the 3 games. Now, because they're still in beta, these 3 games change so fast that this video will become out of date within just a few months. If you would like to follow the development of these 3 games as they go through the beta process, I'd be honored if you would consider subscribing to this channel. I cover all 3 of these games in this channel. I also cover a game called Prey Day Survival, and tomorrow I will be posting a video with a comparison of how these 3 games compare to Prey Day. It's a similar type game, but it seems to be made by a different Russian company, and it has actual multiplayer, which makes a big difference. Well, that's it, guys. Hope that helps. Please remember to like this video if you did in fact like this video. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.